Hello everyone, welcome to a new reading. Today we are doing the final reading for MAMAMOO's individual readings. So that is another group, an unexpected group that I started working on is now completed, I guess. Achievement unlocked. All of MAMAMOO individual readings done. So in this video we're going to focus on Hwasa and her individual reading. For those of you that don't know how they work, we're going to check her current energy, her career, her love life, and then any healing messages that come through. And before we jump to her current energy, I just want to thank everyone for all the love and support you have been giving all of my videos. But right now for the MAMAMOO ones, I wasn't really sure how you guys were going to take them. So I'm actually very glad that you guys kind of found my corner of the internet and seem to be enjoying the videos. So thank you for being there for me. Let's actually jump into Hwasa's current energy and figure out how is she doing right now. We have Judgment, we have the Ten of Wands, and the Knight of Pentacles. So right now she may be going through something a bit challenging. I'm saying that because of the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands usually talks about having to carry a lot of responsibilities, maybe some burdens or some challenges. It's Wands energy, so we're talking about action that has to be taken. And the card right next to it is the Knight of Pentacles, which talks about routine. It talks about career. Well, to me, it talks about routine because it's Virgo energy. We have someone that is putting a lot of work in their career or putting a lot of work and focus in their health. It could also be their finances and their economic standing. I don't know why that kind of came to my mind. But with this Knight of Pentacles, it kind of shows that right now Hwasa is currently focusing on her career. I mean, right now they're on tour, or by the time this comes out, I'm not too sure what MAMAMOO is doing. But this kind of shows that one of the things that she may feel like it's a bit of a heavy responsibility, or there's quite some pressure going on, or a lot of things that have to be done, is in her career, in her work. There is a lot of little things that have to be taken care of, a lot of schedules that have to be met, or a lot of deadlines that have to be met. And this kind of shows that she's kind of on the move on, because a knight usually in tarot talks about an energy that's constantly moving. It could be physically moving, or it could be an energy that's going from one stage to the next. What I mean by that is going from the planning stage to the action stage. That's kind of what I mean by the process and the movement of energy. So in this case, I do feel that the thing that could be bothering Hwasa, but I don't mean that in a way where she's annoyed or angry or she feels like her world is tumbling down. That's not necessarily the case. It's just that uncomfortable pressure of a lot of things that have to be done. I don't think she's necessarily even overthinking something, because we didn't get any swords, so I don't think she is too much in her head. I think she's just doing a bunch of things at once. And the fact that we have this Knight of Pentacles, which is Virgo energy, it automatically makes me think that there's a lot of tedious tasks that she has to meet every single day, or currently there's a lot of little things that she has to focus on constantly in order to be able to meet her goals, or in order to get her job done. Now we have the Judgment card right here, which was actually the first card that came out for her current energy. So there is a sense that she feels like life is testing her somehow. She may feel like one of the big ideas, or one of the big things that she's learning right now, is how little things eventually add up. And I kind of got two feelings from what I just said. One is if you leave things behind, procrastinate, it eventually builds up, and you kind of have to do everything all at once before it has to be published, before it has to be turned in, before a deadline is met or whatever, right? And the other feeling I got was also if you do little things, just work on a project little by little every day, it eventually builds up to be completed, right? So that also makes me think of a goal or something that is trying to be achieved, and it's doing one thing at a time, working and taking one step at a time will eventually get you to your end goal. So that seems to be the kind of the mentality, or what she could be tested on currently, or where she feels like she's been tested. Okay, so Judgment also talks about transformations. So I think one thing that she could currently be focusing on is her patience could be tested a bit. Now, what I mean by her patience being tested is waiting for her manifestations to blossom or kind of come into fruition, but at the same time learning how to take those steps that are within her control to manifest something in her life. Because the card that goes after the Judgment card is the World, and the World is a card about completion. It is a card of the rewards that come after overcoming a challenge. So with this Judgment card, there feels like she may be going through some sort of rebirth, like kind of waking up from a slumber or waking up from something that she had not seen before. Because the Judgment card is supposed to talk, it usually shows an angel that is like blowing this trumpet or horn or whatever, and it's waking up like the dead from their coffins, right? That's usually the image that we see. But in this case, we kind of just see like a call to action. So there is a chance that currently she's focusing on making sure that her goals are in alignment with something that she feels is fulfilling, satisfying, and some sort of like life purpose type of mission. And she is just kind of focusing on like those baby steps or those little actions that she can take every day, or she can like work on right now to reach that life purpose type of goal. Now I'm saying it that way because it's like, I don't know what for her will have that weight or that importance to the equivalent of like life purpose, but it's something that it's definitely significant to her. But let's jump into her career and figure out what's going on with Hwasa's career. So multiple cards just fell. We have Peppermint with success, we have Apple with continuance, and then we have Daffodil with hope, which I want to point out. I have seen these cards in the Chinese group reading, and I'm pointing it out because not so long ago I was looking back at some videos that I recorded because I was looking for something, and those cards were the ones that popped up. So that could be important somehow. Give me a second. And we have the new moon in Scorpio, work through your fears. Yeah, so this could be something. So the reason why I was mentioning the Chinese like group reading, which could be significant in this case, is that Hwasa could be going through something similar of like she may be afraid that her career will not be successful somehow for whatever reason. What I mentioned in that video was something along those lines of like the group hasn't like worked in quite a while together, so now that they're coming back, they're kind of afraid that their work will not meet their expectations or will not be to the level that they wanted it or something along those lines, right? So with Hwasa, it could be something similar as well. Since we have a new moon in Scorpio and work through your fears, there is something that she's doing in her career that could be a bit new to her, or it could be a little bit out of whack. I don't know why those words came up. Like, I don't think she's doing anything too crazy. To her, yeah, but I don't know how crazy it will look to the outside perspective or view. But she does have success, continuance, and hope. So there is a chance that what is going on in her career is something that requires her to not give up. It is something, again, if the Seven of Wands had come up, I think that will kind of just hammer on this idea that something that Hwasa is working on right now is to just work hard at her career, at her goals, and she will eventually get there. One of the things that she should also work on is on her fears, to make sure that she doesn't hold herself back, that she doesn't allow those obstacles, like those mental obstacles, to get in the way. And those mental obstacles could be like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, this is not possible, how will this work? Those things that kind of just make her doubt and worry for no reason, right? Now let's look at some of the elements that we have right here. We have fire with a peppermint, we have water with the apple, we have water with this new moon in Scorpio, and then we have air with daffodil. So this kind of tells me that the lack of this fourth element, which is earth, kind of shows that one of the things that Hwasa is kind of struggling with in her career is to be stable, is to set goals that could be measured. And by goals that could be measured, I mean, like, when you set yourself a goal, like, let's say you say something like, oh, I want to be happy. Well, that is a nice goal to have. However, it is kind of difficult to measure something like that. And when you set yourself a goal that can't be measured somehow, it makes it very difficult to track your progress and feel like you're actually achieving that goal or getting close to achieving it. And it could be a bit discouraging if you're going on with your life and you feel like you haven't accomplished that goal. You can like reach a point where it's like, I'm doing nothing, this goal is impossible, I will never make it there, right? However, if you do put, like, if you set some goals, like, let's say you're like, oh, my goal is to be happy. Okay, what are some of the things, like, these mini tasks, which we have been talking about in her current energy, that can lead me to that bigger goal of happiness? And one of those things could be like, get a house or something, right? This is just an example. I don't really know what Hwasa is like focusing on. It's like, oh, get a house, right? So then you can measure like the money to get a specific house that could lead to this bigger goal of being happy, right? So I do feel that with her, it's something along those lines. Like, she is focusing on those little tasks that will eventually build up to this greater and bigger goal or dream of hers that will fulfill her and satisfy her, as in like a life purpose type of level. Again, so the whole thing with her career, to not give up. And one of the things that she's struggling with is grounding her ideas, her plans, and making it in a way that is practical, a way that can be measured, a way that can be looked at and say, like, this is the progress, this is the process to get there, this is something tangible, right? So she's kind of like finding it kind of difficult to ground her ideas in her career. Now, the signs that we have right here is Libra with a peppermint, we have Capricorn with the apple, we have Taurus with a daffodil, and of course we have Scorpio and the new moon in Scorpio. So some of the things that we have here is fixed energy with the Scorpio and the Taurus, and then we have cardinal energy with the Libra and Capricorn. And this kind of shows that in her career, some of the things that are happening is that she wants to take leadership and she wants to take the initiative to get something started in her career. However, one of the things that she's struggling with is kind of sticking to her values and her principles in a way that is, I'm not saying like she's being persuaded or that she's doing what other people are doing and that's not loyal to who she is. I'm just saying that she's finding it very difficult to be consistent. She's finding it very difficult to continue moving forward despite obstacles or challenges, or despite lacking the knowledge of something, or not having something in her life that could make it easier. And it's just like, let me figure out another way around that, right? Like, I think, how should I put it? There is a sense that in her career, one of the things that she's struggling with is that she has full intention to move forward or achieve something in her career. However, she's finding it kind of difficult or challenging to follow through with that feeling of wanting something. And the thing that is happening in her career is that there's a sense of like, try to have hope and faith that things are going to work out. Just don't give up, continue with your dreams, and eventually things are going to pan out in her favor. And all she has to do is just make sure that her worries don't get the best of her, that she doesn't allow her doubts to make her stop and give up in mid-battle. I don't know why those words were the ones that came up, but yeah, mid-battle apparently. This is something that is important to her and it's something that she's fighting for. So this kind of tells me that whatever she's focusing on in her career is something that she has found very challenging, or she has found that it's not a sprint but a marathon type of goal, or I guess journey. But let's get a little bit more details about her career. We have the Knight of Swords and Temperance reverse. So we have Gemini energy with the Knight of Swords, and we have Sagittarius energy with Temperance reverse. So these two cards kind of tell me that she has gotten a lot of knowledge. She has gone very quickly in her career. So there's a lot of things that she has experienced, a lot of things that she has learned. I also feel that she has also met a lot of people that have contributed to her career in such a way that it has made her gain a lot of, I guess, connections, so good networking. And again, a lot of conversations, people. There's a lot of bits of energy in her career. That's the best way I can describe it. And it has been very fast moving. It has been very fast paced. And she may have reached a point where things may have slowed down a little bit in her surroundings and her environment with this Temperance here. But it's reversed, so this tells me that she has lost a bit of patience. So there is a chance that she's someone that kind of just gets working and she's kind of like this well-oiled machine that just gets working on whatever her goal is and just does the things that have to be done with no hesitation at all. And the thing that could be bothering her right now is that maybe she's not seeing the results that she wishes she could see at the moment that she is in, or she feels like she has put a lot more energy into her career and she hasn't gotten in return the same amount of work and energy she's put into. So this temperance card reverse is kind of telling me that one of the things that she may be struggling, or a challenge that she may have faced in her career, is that things have slowed down a little bit for her to the point that she's losing patience, or she feels like she's kind of out of harmony with her career now. Is kind of like the fact that she feels like she's not achieving or accomplishing those goals or dreams in her career is becoming an issue right now. Or she may feel like she's doing something wrong when in reality maybe the timing is off, or maybe there's like an external force that hasn't played its part quite yet. So there's something that could be outside of her control, and again, there could be that's a sense of like destiny and fate is at play here in her career. But again, with this Knight of Swords, there's also a chance that there is someone that is going to kind of come into her career and like bring her a new sense of hope, or give her like a piece of information. Like she may be missing like a piece to the puzzle in her career, and because she doesn't have that piece, things are kind of like slowed down at the moment. So I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong going on with her career, and I don't think she has like a super bad taste of her career. I was gonna say that because I was thinking of something bittersweet for some reason, but there is a chance that she may be losing patience, and that's why there's this thing of like, don't allow fears and worries get in the way of your persistence, of your determination. Continue having hope, have faith that things will be successful, because they will be. It's just going to take some time, or it might be a bit longer than what she had wanted. Based on the signs that we talked about earlier, she is kind of just learning to continue sticking to who she is and what she does, and not be swayed by other people's opinions or advice of like, this is how things should be done, this is what you should have achieved by this point or whatever, and kind of just stick to what she believes in, and kind of not budge from those ideas. Continue with her own path and focusing on her own path and her own accomplishments, and not necessarily compare herself or her journey to other people's journeys. Now let's go into her love life. So what's going on with Hwasa's love life? We have Bae with wisdom, and we have Black Mulberry with wholeness. So right away, and then we have 22 and 33. So those are repeated numbers. Those could be significant. These two cards already tell me that in her love life, she feels very good about herself. She feels like things are great. She feels whole. She feels great with herself. She feels like there's two opposing forces within her that are in this beautiful, delicate balance that works for her. Now, I'm saying that because wisdom is a fire element and wholeness is water element. And we also have like opposing signs or sister signs, which is Leo energy and Aquarius energy is shown right there. So there's a sense of like opposites attract, or there's a sense of like within her love life, there's these two pulling forces that are creating a very delicate balance of harmony for her. It is one that is focusing on, I'm getting something about the self and the other, but that's usually the line with Aries and Libra. So I'm not too sure what the focus could be between Leo and Aquarius. I'm thinking of entertainment, innovation, self, and the community. Those are some words that are kind of coming up in her when I'm focusing on those cards. But also with the 22 and the 33, I was going to mention that with the wisdom card, we have a sense of like good balance of two energies that are creating this stable foundation for her, because with the number 22, it adds up to 4, which is a number of stability. And then with number 33, we have a sense of like being able to not only work with herself, but other people, and creating this sense of collaboration and working with others in her community. And then if you add up the 3s, we have a number 6, which makes me think of the Lovers right away. So it's kind of like a number that is talking about partnerships as well, unions. Again, there's a sense of like working with herself has given her this ability to be able to work with the community and be of service to the community. I mean, this could also be helpful in a partnership, but there's a sense of something bigger than that. So let's see, what's going on with Hwasa's love life? The other two cards that we have is New Moon Eclipse with expect powerful change, and we have New Moon in Cancer with you and your loved ones are safe. So if there's any romance that is kind of coming up here, it is one that is meant to be very stable. It is one that is going to be long lasting, because I feel like there is a union of communities, or a union of family, like extended family is connected here as well. I'm saying that because we also have Cancer energy right here, which Cancer is all about the family. It's all about your close knitted circles. I don't know why I'm also thinking of children. And so that could be significant for Hwasa. Like there's something about a union or a connection of two people that are like individuals, in the sense of like very loyal to themselves, and they're people that kind of have like worked through their own stuff and their own issues, their problems, and are pretty stable on their own, but now they have come together to create this union, or have come together to bring these two communities or two families together. So there could be a wedding, I guess. So expect the unexpected. I don't know, but yeah, expect powerful changes. I do feel that this is something that involves family, or that involves someone very close to her, or very dear to her. Maybe even soul family could be significant for her. But yeah, with this Cancer energy, it is supposed to be something homely, something cozy. There is a lot of loyalty, a lot of love in here. There's this very kind and gentle, I guess, harmony or vibes in the environment. So this kind of shows that in Hwasa's love life, there is a lot of care, a lot of protection, because Cancer is a sign that knows how to protect themselves. It is a sign that has very strong boundaries as well. When you have a healthy Cancer, of course. When you don't, then you could have like an emotional mess going on here and a lot of blurred lines, right? But there is a sense of like the heart is definitely there. The knowledge or wisdom is there as well. As to what I mean, knowledge and wisdom in this case, I mean in the sense of like people that know themselves well enough to know how to work with other people, and also knowing like, these are my boundaries, this is who I am, this is what I'm expecting from you, this is what I'm willing to compromise in. Very wise and mature relationships are going on here. So yeah, very understanding as well. But let's see, let's get some more info about Hwasa's love life. We have the Four of Swords. Yeah, very calm, very relaxing. Someone that has a peace of mind, someone that can definitely take a break, someone that is very, very gentle. And also so with the Seven of Pentacles reverse, I'm getting it is something that is happening now, or like the wait is over of sorts. So also it could also mean that she's kind of losing patience a little bit. So I guess Hwasa just naturally has an energy that is like, if this is mine, what am I waiting, right? If this is meant to be, what are we waiting for? Let's just make it happen, right? So she could have that mentality. But if not, the other thing that I'm getting, since the energy is so good in her love life, the Seven of Pentacles reversed can just mean that she is one step away from seeing the fruits of her labor blossom. It's kind of like the seeds have been planted, they have sprouted, they have grown, and it's just a step away from the fruits to like be ripe and perfect for harvesting, I guess. So that metaphor is supposed to show that in her love life, everything is very stable, everything is going well, everything is going according to like the plan, the destiny and fate had for her, and it's just a matter of time for things to just kind of unravel and play out the way that they have to play out. So in this case, I'm not worried at all in her love life. It's just kind of like a matter of time for the results to come out, I guess. Now I'm saying that in such a way that it made me think of kids again. So again, there could be a very strong connection in Hwasa's love life that is long lasting. It's meant to be one filled with a lot of love, kindness, understanding, very family orientated type of energy as well. And I guess children will be involved, so I wouldn't be surprised if she may have kids soon, or she may be a mother quite soon. And by soon is, I can't give you an exact timing because I'm not getting one, but when I mean soon is like, at least she's thinking about it. But let's jump into the last section of her reading, which is her healing messages. So what is going on? So we have the Whale Spirit reversed with Trust the Great Mystery. So it was seen with the cards that she got earlier with Judgment, Temperance reverse, and in a way the Seven of Pentacles reverse. There is a chance that there might be times that she doesn't really know what's going on in her life, or she may be like, dear life, what is going on? What is happening? And she may not really get answers, or she just kind of has to experience life and see where it takes her. And that could infuriate her a little bit. Like, I get that. I understand that. But with this whale spirit reverse, it's like, do not worry. Just because you don't know how things are going to end up, or you don't know how the journey is unraveling, doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. Like, it could just mean that you just have to experience it and see what happens, or like kind of like go with the fly and just see where life takes you. Just experience it, right? So this whale spirit reverse is just kind of saying like, sometimes you don't need to know everything to have a wonderful experience, and for allowing I guess not the universe, for allowing your life to just unravel right in front of you. There's also a chance that she may get a lot of feelings. Like, she could be very intuitive and get feelings like something's happening, something's about to change, and the universe is kind of telling her like, yeah, trust that instinct, but you don't need to know all the answers to have that feeling actually manifest in her life. But let's see, any more healing messages? Anyway, just give me 2 more cards. The other card that we have is the Porcupine Spirit with time for beginner mind. So this could mean that life wants her, or the universe is kind of advising her that right now it will be a very good time for her to get rid of any baggage, get rid of any doubts and worries that could be holding her back. And with the time for a beginner mind, it's kind of like, don't be afraid of letting go of something that does not work and starting over. But at the same time, don't want her to give up on something that she's losing patience on. Just because things are not giving her the results that she may be looking for at first doesn't mean that she's doing something wrong. It doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. So with the time for a beginner mind, it could also be something about going back to the fundamentals, going back to the basics, going back to her foundation somehow. This makes me think, if you think of back on a foundation or the basics of something, of a journey, or that makes me think of being principled, staying loyal to who you are. So that could be in relation to her career, which I was kind of feeling like it was talking about that already. So again, just reminding her to stay loyal to her goals, to her process, to her way of doing things, and not be so focused or so hung up with how other people are doing or what their expectations are on her. Now we have the Pig Spirit reverse with use your mind wisely, and we have the Panther Spirit upright with reclaim your power. So the fact that these 2 cards came together, I do feel that based on her love life, Hwasa does put a lot of weight on what other people's opinions are. There is a chance that she talks to her family, maybe, you know, her parents, siblings, I don't even know if she has siblings, or her friends, or her extended family, whoever she deeply cares about or holds in quite high esteem. She will talk to them and try to get advice from them, and that advice could not be the healthiest sometimes. And what I mean the healthiest is that everyone thinks differently and everyone has different baggage. You know, we all have baggage, we all have different approaches to different situations, and even though asking for advice to other people can definitely be a good way of getting perspective and getting a point of view, an outside point of view could definitely be very, very helpful when someone's very like laser focused on a certain goal or a certain approach. But at the same time, it can be very challenging, because then all of a sudden it could dissuade her from her own inner compass. It can intervene also with her goals and her achievements, because she's now thinking, am I doing something wrong? When in reality, she should just be following her intuition, and also not be too worried with others' opinions, as in like, oh, you should have already achieved this, you should have already been here, you should have already accomplish this or that, right? So there's a sense that she should discern what good advice is out there for her. There's nothing wrong with asking advice to other people or asking for their opinions, but her opinion or her point of view, or I guess her view on her journey, is the most important. It is the most essential. What she thinks is above what other people are advising her sometimes, right? When I mean sometimes, it's like she just has to do some sort of like cleansing of information. Like, she's gathering a lot of information from other people, and that could confuse her sometimes on what she's doing. But again, she's the only one that knows what she's going through, what she's feeling, and what she's thinking. So she should put a bit more weight on her own. You know, that's the way she can reclaim her power, like putting a bit more weight on her own decisions by making sure that she's not putting too much importance to what other people are saying and what other people are advising her. So yeah, I hope you guys liked this reading. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you once again for all the love and support you have been showing my videos, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this one as well. This is the end of the MAMAMOO individual reading, so I'm very happy that I was able to complete another group. And I'll see you guys on the next one, whenever that is, however that is. Love and healing for my part to you, and bye.